Starting out the video at number 30, I've projected starting second baseman for the Colorado Rockies, Kyle Farmer. Yikes, Colorado. This is not a great guy to have as your everyday second baseman. Sure, he can play around the infield, but he is just old and the bat is just not there anymore. Last year in Minnesota, Farmer hit for 5 home runs, 25 RBIs, 46 hits, and 215 plate appearances for a batting average of .214, an OPS for .647, and a negative .0.3 WAR. Not the best option for the Rockies. Hope Farmer does well in Colorado, though. I have him at number 30 on my list. At number 29, I have Daniel Sheeman of the Cleveland Guardians. I think it was a huge loss for the Guardians in losing Andres Gimenez, and now you have a second-year player who came off a year of not playing much in the majors at all. In 193 plate appearances, he did hit for 5 home runs, 22 RBIs, and 42 hits for a batting average of .218, an OPS for .671. I do think that Cleveland will trade up for a second baseman or sign a free agent, but I have Daniel Sheeman at number 29 on my list. Going out to the Bay to talk about projected Giants second baseman Brett Wisely. Wisely is mainly a contact hitter and does not hit for much power. He is okay at defense, but just not the guy who you're wanting back there for 162 games. In 252 plate appearances, Wisely hit for 4 home runs, 31 RBIs, and 60 hits for a batting average of .238, an OPS of .632, and a .0.5 WAR. I could see the Giants making a trade at the deadline or even calling up a prospect before opening day. I have Brett Wisely at 28. For the 27th best second baseman in baseball, I'm going with Anin Sosa of the Chicago White Sox. Sosa did break out toward the end of the year, but 3/4 of the year he was horrible, and he is terrible at second base. In 351 plate appearances, Sosa hit for 8 home runs, 35 RBIs, and 89 hits for a batting average of .260, an OPS for .639, and a 1.1 WAR while stealing 7 bases. The White Sox are probably going to replace him with Colson Montgomery when he gets called up. Right now, Sosa is their man. I have him at number 27. Coming off a pretty good 2024 campaign, I have David Hamilton of the Boston Red Sox. David Hamilton had the best year of his career in Boston and got that starting spot at second base. In 294 plate appearances, Hamilton hit for 8 home runs, 28 RBIs, and 73 hits for a batting average of .248, an OPS for .694, and a 2.6 WAR. He is solid at second base as well as he is known for his speed. He stole 33 bases last year. He does have a bright future. I have Hamilton at number 26. Getting the top 25 started at number 25, I have Brooks Lee of the Minnesota Twins. I could have gone Edouard Julien or Willie Castro here, but Lee did have a better 2024 season than Julien, and Castro plays everywhere, so that puts Brooks Lee at second base. Lee was one of the Twins' biggest prospects coming in as a shortstop and got a chance to play in the middle of the year and did okay. In 172 plate appearances, Lee hit for 3 home runs, 27 RBIs, and 38 hits for a batting average of .221, an OPS for .585, and a negative .0.2 WAR. I really do like Brooks Lee. You can call me biased for putting him at 25, but he has a good future ahead of him in Minnesota. I have him at 25. For the 24th best second baseman in baseball, I'm going with Nick Gonzalez of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Gonzalez was known for his offense out of college and did well at the plate last year, as in 359 plate appearances, Gonzalez hit for 7 home runs, 49 RBIs, and 97 hits for a batting average of .270, an OPS for .709, and a .0.9 WAR. A little bit of consistency issues with Gonzalez, but he did do solid in 2024. I have him as the 24th best second baseman on this list. At number 23, I have the highest prospect in baseball last year, Jackson Holliday. Holliday played a little bit for the Orioles last year and did pretty bad hitting for 4 home runs, 23 RBIs, and 36 hits for a batting average of only .189, an OPS for .565, and a .0.1 WAR. He is decent at second base. Once again, he is a shortstop coming out as a prospect, but they do have Connor Henderson there. This is mainly off of projections. I know he had a bad 2024, but I do think he'll come back in 2025. I have him at number 23. Coming off a really bad second year, I have Athletic second baseman Zach Gelof. Coming off a really solid 2023 rookie season, Gelof did terrible in his 2024 season. I mean, he struck out an American League leading 188 times. In 497 plate appearances, he hit for 17 home runs, 49 RBIs, and 105 hits for a batting average of .211, an OPS for .632, and a 1.4 WAR. He did steal 25 bases, which is ideal, and is solid at second base. I just have to rank him lower because he did fall off from last season. Just outside the top 20 at number 21, I have Jake Cronenworth of the San Diego Padres. Some people may say I'm ranking him way too low, but in my opinion, he is average. And I would take all 20 of the players over him. In 577 plate appearances, Cronenworth hit for 17 home runs, 83 RBIs, and 137 hits for a batting average of .241, an OPS for .714, and a 1.9 WAR. He is not that great at second base, and he played first for them before Rise got traded from Miami. In my eyes, he is average. He is not a top 20 second baseman. I have him just outside the top 20 at 21. Getting the top 20 started, I have Bryson Stott of the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, is he a good baseball player? Yes. Is he overrated? Yes. He belongs at second base as he does not have the best arm in the world, and the Phillies have Trey Turner at short. In 506 plate appearances, Stott hit for 11 home runs, 57 RBIs, and 124 hits for a batting average of .245, an OPS for .671, and a 2.5 WAR. He is good on the base pass as he stole 32 bases, but as the plate and defense-wise, he is average. Also, his walk-up song is terrible. Coming off a fantastic season, I have Otto Lopez of the Miami Marlins. Otto Lopez is fantastic at second base and is very athletic. In 2024, Lopez hit for 6 home runs, 39 RBIs, and 109 hits for a batting average of .270, an OPS for .690, and a 2.6 WAR while stealing 20 bases. He is one of the only bright spots in Miami, and I could see him breaking out this season and possibly making the All-Star game. I have Otto Lopez at 19. Sadly, at number 18, I have one of my favorite players of all time, Jorge Polanco, who is currently a free agent. Jorge, please come back and finish in Minnesota where you belong. You were consistent for us. I mean, he was one of the best utility players in the game a couple years ago. I have his shirt, and I love him so much that it hurts me so bad when he got traded to Seattle. In 417 plate appearances, Polanco hit for 16 home runs, 45 RBIs, and 89 hits for a batting average of only .213, an OPS for .651, and a 1.3 WAR. I just think Jorge is coming to an end of his career, and I hope wherever he goes, he can find and finish off strong. I do like Jorge, but I have him at number 18. At number 17, I have Jeff McNeil of the New York Mets. McNeil has just not been performing as well as he did in the last couple of seasons with a major league drop in the offense. In 424 plate appearances, McNeil hit for only 12 home runs, 44 RBIs, and 101 hits for a batting average of .258, an OPS for .692, and a 1.6 WAR. Coming into his 33-year-old season, McNeil just needs to be more consistent and be that second baseman the Mets really need. I have him at 17. Just outside the top 15, I have Milwaukee Brewers second baseman Bryce Terran. Terran broke out in 2024, playing fantastic on all parts of the field. He made many great diving plays and catches, as well as stealing an American League leading 50 bases. Offensive-wise, Terran did solid, as in 559 plate appearances, Terran hit for 7 home runs, 59 RBIs, and 142 hits for a batting average of .254, an OPS for .665, and a 4.7 WAR. Terran has a bright future, and I feel like the Brewers will have this guy for a while, as he is still only 25 years old. I have Bryce Terran just outside the top 15 at number 16. Getting the top 15 started after a fantastic rookie season, I have Colt Keith of the Detroit Tigers. Not sure what the Tigers are going to do with Colt Keith, as they just signed Gleyber Torres at the time of making this video, but they should be definitely consider keeping him somewhere in the lineup, as he showed great numbers for the Tigers last season. In 516 plate appearances, Keith hit for 13 home runs, 61 RBIs, and 134 hits for a batting average of .260, an OPS for .689, and a 1.1 WAR. He's decent at second base, did great at the plate for his first season in the league. I have him at number 15. Coming in at number 14, I have Matt McLain of the Cincinnati Reds. McLain did not play at all in the 2024 season with a shoulder injury and later a rib injury, but I do really have high hopes for him, as he will go and break out this year after a fantastic rookie season in 2023, hitting for 16 home runs, 50 RBIs, and 106 hits in 365 plate appearances. Good enough for a batting average of .290, an OPS for .864, and a 3.7 WAR while stealing 14 bases. I'm not sure where he will play the offensive-wise, because coming in right ahead of him at 13, I have newly acquired Cincinnati Red Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux got traded to that week that I'm making this video from the Dodgers. Lux, after not playing at all in 2023 with an ACL tear in his right knee, and a slow start in 2024 season, he still finished off pretty solid, as in 439 plate appearances, Lux hit for 10 home runs, 50 RBIs, and 110 hits for a batting average of 251, an OPS for 703, and a 2.1 WAR. I do feel like he will fit into that starting lineup really well, as Cincinnati is hitter-friendly, and will fill in for a great second baseman in Jonathan India. Speaking of Jonathan India, he is now on the Royals, and I have him as the 12th best second baseman in baseball. India can have some consistent issues with his bat, but does hit for a decent amount of power as a leadoff hitter. In 533 plate appearances, India hit for 15 home runs, 58 RBIs, and 132 hits for a batting average of 248, an OPS for 750, and a 1.7 WAR, while stealing 13 bases. Kauffman Field is not the easiest ballpark in the world to hit at, but he will slot in the Royals lineup just well, as Kansas City is in need of a second baseman. Just got to make the AL Central even more stacked for the Twins. Great. Just outside the top 10 at number 11, I have Luis Rengifo of the Los Angeles Angels. Rengifo balled out for the first half of the year before missing the second half due to his right wrist inflammation. The 27-year-old hit for 6 home runs, 30 RBIs, and 185 hits for a batting average of 300 and an OPS for 763 and a 1.9 WAR while stealing 24 bases. Rengifo is a really good ball player and a big asset to that Angels team. If he stays healthy, he is all-star caliber. I have him just outside the top 10 at number 11. Getting the top 10 start at number 10, I have Brendan Donovan of the St. Louis Cardinals. Sure, you could go with Nolan Gorman here, but Brendan Donovan is just really never bad, and he's always a solid and consistent player and just can play all around the field. In 587 plate appearances, Donovan hit for 14 home runs, 73 RBIs, and 163 hits for a batting average of 278, an OPS for 759, and a 2.6 WAR. He's one of the best utility players in the game. I have him at number 10. Going out to the Windy City to talk about Chicago Cubs second baseman Nico Hoerner. Nico Hoerner is known for his defense, as he is a gold glove at second base and has solid contact. In 582 plate appearances, Hoerner hit for 7 home runs, 48 RBIs, and 159 hits for a batting average of 273, an OPS for 708, and a 3.7 WAR while stealing 31 bases. Hoerner is still young, and at 27, he just needs to hit for a little bit more power for me to rank him any higher on this list. I have Nico Hoerner at number 9. Going to Canada to talk about newly acquired Toronto Blue Jay Andres Gimenez. Gimenez is probably one of the best defensive second basemen in the game right now, as he has 3 Gold Gloves rewards at the age of 26 years old. His bat is pretty solid, as well as in 583 plate appearances, Gimenez hit for 9 home runs, 63 RBIs, and 147 hits for a 252 batting average, an OPS for 638, and a 4.0 WAR, while stealing 30 bases. He made it to the All-Star game back in 2022 when Jose Altuve was hurt as well. This was a good move by Toronto, as he did not really have anyone at second base, and now you have a top second baseman out there for 162 games. Andres Gimenez is the 8th best second baseman in baseball. Same team again, but at number 7, I have newly acquired Detroit Tiger Gleyber Torres. Torres, coming off not a very solid 2024 season, has now found a new home in Detroit, where it seems players go there and end up playing the worst baseball of their career. In 2024 for the Yankees, Torres in 587 plate appearances hit for 15 home runs, 63 RBIs, and 151 hits for a batting average of 257, an OPS for 709, and a 1.8 WAR. Again, just making things way harder for the Twins, as now the AL Central is stacked besides the White Sox. But we will still have to wait and see how Gleyber does in Detroit, as it is hard to hit there. I have him at number 7. Just outside the top 5 at number 6, I have Tampa Bay Rays second baseman Brandon Lowe. Lowe, after not a very solid 2023 season, came back in 2024 and proved why he is one of the best second basemen in baseball. His defense is solid, but his bat is where it is at, as in 385 plate appearances, Lowe hit for 21 home runs, 58 RBIs, and 94 hits for a batting average of 244, an OPS of 743, and a 4.0 WAR. He's also really fast, stealing 30 bases last season. I have Brandon Lowe just outside the top 5 at number 6. Getting the top 5 start at number 5, I have Luis Garcia Jr. of the Washington Nationals. You guys can hate me all you want, but Luis Garcia was due for a breakout year in 2024 and did just that. In 500 plate appearances, Garcia hit for 18 home runs, 70 RBIs, and 141 hits for a batting average of 282, an OPS for 762, and a 2.2 WAR while stealing 22 bases. The guy is only 24 years old as well, and he's only going to get better. I really do like Luis Garcia Jr. I have him at number 5. For the fourth best second baseman in baseball, I'm going with Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves. Ozzie Albies is just that guy that basically hits for the same amount of home runs and RBIs each year, but still puts up fantastic numbers. The 3-time All-Star and Silver Slugger, switch-hitting shortstop, hit for 10 home runs, 53 RBIs, and 100 hits for a batting average of .251, an OPS of 707, and a 1.6 WAR. Albies did battle with a broken left wrist in July, which cost him some time, but I do still think he is very solid. I have Ozzie Albies at number 4. Probably one of the most consistent players in baseball. At number 3, I have Texas Rangers second baseman Marcus Semien. Marcus Baseman will always just mash at the plate and hit for great numbers every year, as well as give you quality defense. In 650 plate appearances, Baseman hit for 23 home runs, 74 RBIs, and 154 hits for a batting average of .237, an OPS for 699, and a 4.1 WAR. Baseman is just going to continue to mash down for there in Texas. I have him as the third best second baseman in baseball. At the number 2 spot, I have the most hated player in baseball, Jose Altuve, second baseman for the Houston Astros. Like him or not, you have to admit, Jose Altuve is one of the best second basemen of all time. The guy has won 7 Silver Slugger awards. He has a Gold Glove at second base. He's an MVP, has been to 9 All-Star games, and has won 2 World Series. The guy will not stop being elite. In 2024, Altuve hit for 20 home runs, 65 RBIs, and 185 hits in 628 plate appearances. Good enough for a batting average of .295, an OPS for 790, and 3.4 WAR, without stealing 22 bases. The guy is 34 years old and is only 5'6", but proves that size doesn't matter in sports. I have him at number 2. Because the best second baseman in baseball, in my opinion, is Arizona Diamondbacks second baseman Ketel Marte. This guy is just such a fantastic baseball player. He's the best switch hitter in the game and proved that this season, as in 540 plate appearances, Marte hit for 36 home runs, 695 RBIs, and 147 hits for a batting average of .282, an OPS for 932, and a 6.8 WAR. He is very solid with his defense as well, and has solid speed. He has been to 2 All-Star games and has won the Silver Slugger and a Golden Glove. Ketel Marte is the best second baseball in the game.